Alright, hi. Basically, I just wanted to make a quick video about my final project for a class I took about the software MaxMSP. I called it quaranting, and it's kind of just this idea of a quarantine improv machine. So I'm just using kind of some household objects, just clapping, snapping, frying pan, and a mason jar, and my trusty pen. And it's basically just making a little looping machine. And of course, I should mention a lot of these modules I learned from and adapted from these people on the forums and on YouTube, so I wanted to credit them. So it's broken down into 5 modules, and the first one here is to basically just set the buffer size. So over here I have my little sample set at 96 BPM and I want 2 measures. So when I hit this yeehaw button, it triggers the MET, and it measures how long in milliseconds how long all the measures take together, and that is fed into the buffers to set the buffer size. So each of these buffers is going to be 5,000 milliseconds. Theoretically, you could split these up if you want the buffers to be different sizes, I believe. But yeah, that's the first part. The second part is just a metronome, both a visual and I have it in my ear. Basically, this class was over Zoom, which is why we use a program called Black Hole to feed the audio from Max and our computers through Zoom. So that's why there's 4 channels in this DAC object. The metronome is going only to channels 1 and 2, which is my earbuds, so only I can hear that if I was on a Zoom call. And this harmonizer over here, which I'll get to later, is only going to channels 3 and 4, so only the audience can hear that right now. And I'll explain why later. But yeah, there's a metronome. And then the bulk of this project is really about these buffer objects, using record, groove, and pipe especially, and just making loops out of these. So basically what's going to happen is when I hit either this button or if I press 1 on the keyboard, I have a bunch of keyboard shortcuts set up. Basically it's going to trigger the recording. I have it set up to be a little bit of a delay, so I have it set up to be 4 clicks from the metronome before it actually starts recording. So get 4 clicks from the met, and then we already established over here I get 8 clicks or 2 measures at 96 BPM, and that's the buffer size. And immediately once those 8 clicks are done, it should start to loop. And yeah, and then we can go on and record our next things. Keeping in mind that there's still this 4-beat lead-in, so I should, if I want these to line up like I do in my brain, I should start the recording for loops 2 halfway through loop 1. There's also a little bit of a volume control and a universal. You can do it independently or all 3 at once. I just have it at 128 for now. I will talk about the granular synthesis in a minute, but basically this all just feeds in, eventually winding up through to the deck. So let's just try recording. And one other thing is, theoretically there is a way to, my professor was talking about this, where you could delay this bang from this button until the next bang from the metronome, so that way that they're synced up better. I don't know how to do that, so I didn't. So this is not going to be very clean. Yeah, It's a pretty simple machine, so I'm not too worried about it, and this is more of a demonstration, but just be warned, this is not going to be very clean. But here we go, keeping in mind, I'm going to hit this button, and then I'll get 4 clicks of prep, and then recording. So I'm just going to be clapping, and then snapping on 2, and playing my frying pan on loop 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, still have some granular synthesis left over. Let's cancel that out. But here's the loop. And I'll turn off the metronome. Loop 2. My hands are sweaty, so they weren't very good snaps, but that's okay. And loop 3. Again, not very clean, but that's okay. This is more of a demonstration. I'm also going to turn this down because it gets... yeah, who wants to listen to something that dirty? But then, so I have my loops all set. I can also do, I can also play live on top of this. So I just have my mason jar and pen here. Whatever you want to do, it's just something like that. So I'll turn it down again. And then over here, we have these last 2 modules are about manipulation, manipulating these sounds, these loops. So over here are just some sample cues that I built for some granular synthesis. And basically, as you move through each cue, the loops get more and more, maybe deranged is a good word. I'll turn it up a little bit so you can hear better. And as you can hear, yes, I'm just cycling through these. You can also use spacebar to advance and escape to reset. It's very subtle, but basically all these cues that I built are just being applied and the sound is kind of being spread out. This is probably the easiest to hear, but you can adjust these parameters however you want. But these are all linked to these sub-patchers, which are just different effects. So I got delay, munger, overdrive, degrade, and phase shift. You can add whatever you want here with your own sub-patchers. I'm gonna go back to the first one just for a little bit and turn this down. And this last part is a live harmonizer. This is only currently set up to go through channels 3 and 4, which is leading to Zoom, because I'm gonna link these up here so that you can hear it and I can hear it in my earbuds. But there's a little bit of a delay between, because I can hear my voice in the space, but there's a delay as it's feeding through the mic, and it's very strange, so I don't really like to have it on, but I will for this purpose. But basically there's 4 voices here, and basically what's happening, this first voice is just unaltered, and then this third voice, I have a couple presets to be like the third of a chord. This third voice can be, here you can hear pretty well that there are things happening, but I can go up like 5 or 6 semitones, or really whatever I want. And then I just have the 4th one blank for now. And I can also adjust the volumes if I want to emphasize certain voices. But yeah, when I did this presentation, I'm gonna delete these because it's very strange to listen to. When I did this presentation, I just sang a little like vocal line, but you can do whatever you want. You could like read a poem if you want. That'd be cool. Yeah, and also have this nice panic button that stops everything, and I just hit this reset button, so everything is a blank slate, ready to go. So that's pretty much it. Again, the idea was to make something kind of simple that could be adjusted a lot. So you can make it pretty much however you want it to be. Yeah, I think that's the gist of the project. I'll put in a sample like score that I made about like just like my roadmap of when I was presenting this, as well as this patch in the description of this video, because you know I learned a lot from people like on the forums posting patches, so maybe there's something here you want to take. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for checking it out.